Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel, and happy Tuesday evening. Hope we're all okay. I hope we are all right. Obviously, this is the preview to the Manchester United at home EFL Cup game on Thursday. I'm looking forward to this game quite a lot. Obviously, it feels like a game where you get into that semi-final of a cup competition and anything can happen. Anything can happen. I feel like that this is one of those games where anything could legitimately happen. So I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to be talking about the Rodrigo Bentancur update on his ban. We'll be talking about the previous game last season at home. We're going to be talking about who my predicted team is going to be. I've already written it out, and I already feel like I need to change it a little bit. You'll see what I mean. And I've got the Man United predicted team, but again, I feel like I might need to change that one as well. You see what I mean when I get to it? Yes. Good evening, all. Evening, D's. Marshall. Good Lord, Marshall. How you been, mate? Spurs. Roberto. How are we all? Gone out show on the Puskas. There you go. You know, it's one of those. Obviously, by the way, the Tom Brady jersey is now up. I told you I'd do it. It's now finally here. It's a gorgeous one. It's a gorgeous one. Look, Man United Cup game. It's, I think, when you think back to years previous, this is probably one of those games you go, oh, it's Man United in a cup. Oh no, this, and that's what Man United used to do to you. Man United used to give you it just used to hate it. It gives you anxiety. It gave you stress because it was Man United, and at the end of the day, they are one of the most successful teams in English football history. If not maybe the most successful. Now, obviously, yes, maybe this isn't the Sir Alex Ferguson regime. And yeah, maybe we are a bit better than what we used to be back in those days. But this is still a team that knows how to win in cup competitions. They won the FA Cup last season. That's something that we need to be remembering. This Man United team maybe isn't the Man United teams of old where, you had Tevez and Rooney and Ronaldo, you had Giggs, you had Carrick, Ferdinand, Vidic, this maybe is a lesser team to a degree, but this is still a team that knows how to win in cup games. I mean, they win against Manchester City at the weekend. You cannot knock that. That's if we do it, it's great. Them doing it is another level because that is a derby. And that's why you can't take that away from them. They come into this game on the back of that win, and that's for them. That's massive. The one thing I didn't do was actually just see their run of form coming into this game. Let's have a look. Right, so the last few games, 28th of November, they beat Bodo Glimt 3-2 in the Europa League. They win 4-0 against Everton. They lose 2-0 away to Arsenal. They lose 3-2 at home to Forest. They win 2-1 away to Victoria Plzen. And they beat Manchester City 2-1. So they're coming into this 4 wins, 2 losses, no draws, which is quite funny. That's interesting. That's a 6-game spell, by the way. So they come into this, let's be honest, they come into this with form, okay? Yes, they are 13th in the Premier League. And on the face of that, you'd think, they're not doing very well. They're only a point behind us, to be fair. But if they were to win and things would go to their way in terms of results, they could be up to 6th. So they're 13th. With a win, they could be up to 6th if results went their way. Just think about that for a second. They're 5 points behind 5th. They're 6 points behind 4th. And they're 13th. This Premier League season is just so weird. It really is. Michael, how are my friends? Wouldn't be disappointed at all if we went with the same team on Sunday. Well, we'll talk about it in a second. Anyway, let's start first and foremost. Rodrigo Bentancur's ban rejection. It has been rejected. I think that was to be expected. I don't think anyone truly thought we'd get maybe the game knocked off. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other players. I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to name names, but there are other players who should have been banned that didn't get banned. We are obviously banned. So it is what it is in that regards. We move on. We dust ourselves down. We get on. Now, obviously, this game is counted towards the ban. This is his second to last game. The last game will be Liverpool at the weekend, and then he is back Boxing Day away to Forest. So look, he's going to have quite a lot of time off in terms of recovering, resting. He better be coming back and ready to go Boxing Day. Because I can't lie, the last 2 games that I've seen him, I've not seen that Bentancur. So I could do with Bentancur coming back with that, because I love Rodrigo. I think he's fantastic. But I'm going to need Rodrigo to be my Rodrigo again, not the other Rodrigo, What's temperature in the city? I don't know, mate. Imagine blaming Levy for not winning a trophy when it's the players who lost in multiple finals. Levy's got us to the end and the players let us down. Yeah, I mean, there are. I would say players are at fault for sure. You can still blame Levy, like you can blame the managers for not winning it. And you can blame Levy for not getting us to more trophy finals. That's for sure. Everyone's to blame. No one's getting away from this scot-free. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the previous meeting. Now, I'm not going to talk about the game this season because that's not the previous meeting. The previous meeting was back all the way last season. It was the second game into Angeball. We won 2-0 at home versus Manchester United. And we were the better team. We were the better team. And you'll see what I mean. I'm not talking about the game earlier on the season. That wasn't the previous meeting because that we played away from home. I'm talking about the home game, all right? So just in case you weren't aware and you weren't sure. Winning 2-0, it was a game that, I think they hit the post through Anthony. And, obviously Vicario made a really good save for Casemiro. They really didn't do much else. We were much the better team in that game. Obviously, Pape scores the first. Obviously, there was an own goal from Lisandro Martinez. And it was, I guess, the linchpin for everyone to kind of, if you weren't sure about Angeball, you started to think you were sure about Angeball, obviously, because this was the second game. The first game we drew against Brentford. We come into this game, everyone's thinking, oh, this is a big boy. Or are they going to be able to do it? And we were obviously very, very good. And I looked at the team that started. Vic was in goal. You had Destiny, you had Porro, Romero, and Van der Ven. Your midfield 3 was the main 3 of Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison. You had Kulu, Sonny, and Richarlison. So the team won't be all but different, really, in regards to, quite a few of those players will probably play. Now, yes, you don't have your keeper. You don't have your 2 centre-halves. You may not have your left back in that regard. You don't have the striker that's playing in that game. The players that are playing would maybe be Porro, Sarr, Basuma, Maddison, and Son, and Kulusevski. Now, Basuma may not play. We'll talk about that in a second. So you're missing, in theory from that team, you're missing 3 minimum. Actually, 4 minimum. Sorry, you might be missing 5 or 6. So it's a weird old world football, isn't it? Let's beat the pompous United team on Thursday. Afterwards, we all go and watch some Goldbridge and Flying Pig reaction tears for our enjoyment. I don't know who Flying Pig is. I know who Goldbridge is. How many owners have gotten to a Champions League final the last 10 years? I'd probably say you get 2 owners a season. Real Madrid have been there a few times. I don't know. Let's call it 10, 12. I'm not really sure. Your point is there, Toby, and this isn't a Daniel Levy conversation. This is a Man United conversation, my friend. How are you just wearing a single t-shirt in December? You crazy? Don't you feel cold? It's called being a massive bastard. That's who I am, mate. Helps. Also, grow a beard. It's like a face warmer. All right. Hey Terry, how are you, mate? Ange has to win this game. If it's Spencer Udogie fullbacks will be hard to deal with. Ooh, let's talk about who I think the predicted team is going to be, because I'm going to put it on the ticker in just a second. I've already changed my mind. So you'll see it. Do not panic. I'm going to edit it so you can then see it, okay? This was the team that I went with first and foremost. I went Forster in goal. I went Porro, Gray, Dragic, and Udogie. I went Basuma, Sarr, Maddison, Kulu, Son, Solanke. All right? So you have an idea of what I first went with. Now, hold up. I'm going to quickly change it because I've got a thought and feeling about this. And I'm putting in kind of who I want to play. Okay, who I want to play, not who I think's going to play. All right. So now you'll see Spence and Bergvall come in. Now I want Spence and Bergvall to play. I don't know about you guys. I would love for those boys to play. Mike Cockle, you're right, mate. Want to see Spencer Udogie? He was exceptional on that right back last game. May not have put out their strongest 11. We will play the kids. How long ago since we had 5 or 6 wins in a row in the Prem? Don't know, mate. Don't know. But look, in this regard, I like this team. Obviously, pace-wise, I like this team. If I look at the Man United team that played, who played against Manchester City, and they played a three-back. In theory, they played a five-back because Mount apparently was their left winger, who definitely wasn't their left winger. But whilst he was playing, obviously he got injured. They play a three-back of Martinez, De Ligt, and Maguire. Now, bloody hell, they brought on Lindelof and Yoro. Did De Ligt get injured? Am I being an idiot? Did De Ligt get injured? I didn't watch enough of this game because I was falling asleep watching it because it was really boring. Hang on, when did De Ligt went off in the 79th minute? I don't think he got injured. I just think it was a natural substitution. Okay, all right, fair enough. We'll come back to that in a minute. Looking at that team, Diallo and Mazraoui, I think I've learned how to properly say it. They were the sort of wing back / let's be honest, they were fullbacks. It was a five back they were playing. You had Ugarte playing in the midfield with Fernandes. Mount was kind of, I guess, just up and down, box to box. Same with Diallo. And obviously, no Garnacho, no Rashford in that squad, which, by the way, I commend Ruben Amorim for that, because that mustn't have been an easy decision to make, to drop those two guys. But normally what happens is with these things, they get dropped, they come back the next game with a real good attitude to, get themselves back into the team. If we lose against United, it is what it is. Amorim would adapt. This weekend turn into heaven or hell. Rashford historically has big games against us. Not always. But yeah, look, really on this side of things, I was thinking if they go a back three, now hear me out here. Let me ramble to see if you think I'm right. If they're playing the back three with then two fullbacks and at least two holding mids, I have actually changed who I think is going to be playing in that team. Okay. I think he didn't play his strongest 11 because I think he's like, look, I'm going to put out a good team against obviously Manchester City because it's the derby. But I think he was also thinking about Thursday. There was a part of him thinking about Thursday. And I've gone with this team for me starting wise because I think Sarr is going to be the most important player on the pitch. Okay. Just energy. And look, they're losing Mason Mount. Now, Mason Mount, I don't think is the best player in the world. They spent 65 million on him. Not worth half of that. But the one thing he does offer you is just intensity. He's energetic, he's box to box, doesn't mind kicking out a little bit, which sometimes you need that in a team. And I think Sarr's energy is going to be crucially needed. The reason I went with Kulu on the right is I think about Diallo. I think about if he wants to play Malacia there. I don't give a crap who wants to play there. I think Kulu, in terms of winning fouls, strength, creativity, it allows Sonny to get much further forward. And we are a much better team when Sonny is the one getting further forward and on the end of attacks, not Kulusevski or Johnson, okay? And I think that would, in theory, free up Sonny to do a little bit more damage further forward, to support Solanke a little bit further forward, because Solanke is all about, I'm going to link up the play with you. I'm going to be able to create some chances with you. Then, okay, the guy who's playing left wing, he's going to play so much further forward than everyone else. He will be getting on the end of our attacks. And that's why I like Kulu playing on the right. Maddison in the midfield. Whenever Maddison's actually played Manchester United for us, he's been very good. Corresponding fixture last year. This season when he played, obviously he was injured for the 2-2 draw. It wasn't back by this point. Massive. So I think he's going to have a big game as well. Obviously Sonny. No issues with that. Solanke obviously scored in the away fixture this season, but regardless. Now, look, the defence, we need Destiny to be fit. Now, if Destiny's not fit and Spence will go and play left back and they'll go and put Pedro Porro at right back. If Destiny's fit, I play Destiny. I just think with Diallo sitting out there on the left, I think Destiny is a one-on-one defender. Like where the player's running at Destiny, I mean, by the way, is very solid. And that's what I'd want out there to deal with. I think their best player at the moment. I think Diallo is their best player at the moment. Now, he maybe isn't their best player, but just on form, I think he is. Now, Højlund is obviously a bit of a handful, and that could be interesting if he tries to go and play on Gray. That's where you need the Bergvals to be able to sit in sometimes, maybe cut out a few passing lanes. That's why he might go Basuma in this regard. For me, though, if you win 5-0 in a game against a Premier League side, you don't change the team. That was my thinking. I don't know what you guys think. Obviously, let me know what you guys think. I've missed a few comments. Apologies. Our recent form versus United is good, but our team is out of squad depth. I think same 11, Spence left back. So you think Porro starts, Joshua? All in Thursday, Diallo can be got at, and Madam Mazabulas. Yeah, their right wing is solid. It's solid. Obviously, you've got Diallo that is the creator. You've got Mazraoui is a very solid defender, good on the ball. Obviously, I think his time at Bayern probably attests to that. But I think you can get at that right wing side. And look, if they want to overload their right wing and obviously, create down that side, not a problem. Maddison, Udogie, and Sonny's link-up play is miles better than whatever they have down there right. We all know that, okay? So, yeah, have at it. Now, I mean, look, my team that I put out there, okay, for them, I went a bit different. I went with a back four because I think Rashford comes back into the side. I don't think you can play that system that they did. Maybe you can, but just because, no offense, Rashford's quite lazy. I don't think you can play the system they did with Mount because Mount is the opposite of lazy. Like I said, you might not think Mount's a great player, but Mount is just a Duracell bunny. So I went with Onana in goal, Mazraoui at right back, De Ligt, Martinez, and Diallo. Midfield holding two. I've made a mistake on the spelling of Casemiro. Let me do the favour to the man who's a very good centre defensive mid. There we go. Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno Fernandes, Diallo, Rashford, and Højlund. That's the team that I've gone for with them. Now, it's look. There's a situation where they might go and say, actually, Diallo and Mazraoui are the wing backs again. We're going to go De Ligt. We're going to go Martinez and Maguire. There's then you go Ugarte, Bruno, Diallo, Højlund, and do you still go Rashford? If you do, thing is, if they want to go that regard and they want to go, what we're going to do is we're going to drop Rashford, for example. Attacking wise, they offer nothing against Manchester City. If they want to hit us on the counter attack, we're not bad against the counter attacks. If they hit us on the counter attack, it's going to free up the game so much for us, and then we're going to get on the counter, and that's where I think you can get a Man United. You can score against this Man United team. Okay. Now, Manchester City are a team that's not doing very well at the moment, but they conceded against Victoria Pleasant. They shipped 3 against Nottingham Forest, who Nottingham Forest aren't the biggest goal scorers in the league. They've scored 21. Spurs have scored 36. Okay. They shipped 2 against Arsenal. Arsenal haven't scored a goal from open play since November. They haven't scored a goal from open play in 4 games. So I wouldn't say they're exactly an attacking threat. Obviously, they beat Everton 4-0, but yeah, I mean, it's Everton. We beat them 4-0. It's not a problem. I mean, they shipped 2 goals against Bodo Glimt. So, you can get this Man United team. You can get this Man United team, and you can score against this Man United team. Donna's here, fair enough. Hey, Spangoff, mate, how are we? I want Johnson off bench. I want Johnson off bench as well. Because if that game is to stretch a little bit, give it to the man that's pacey. So I think that's my Man United team. I'm going to go with this for the time being. I'm going to go with the fact they're going to play a 4-2-3-1. Now, if they play the 5 back, like I said, you would put Maguire in there, and I'd probably say Rashford will be on the bench. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, you'd put Rashford on the bench. Sorry. Big one. Key battle. Now, I'm interested what you guys think of your key battle in this regard, because, look, you could sit there and say, you think of Ugarte and Casemiro dealing with, Pape and dealing with Maddison and Kulu, and you think Kulu and Diallo, or you think Sonny and Mazraoui. And I think Sonny and Mazraoui could be a shout. United's going to sit back and hit us on the counter. I think we'll have a hard time breaking them down. Well, Terry, if they hit us on the counter, not a problem. Not a problem, I have no issues with that. They bring Rashford on to change games. We bring Werner on. Big difference. Rashford's not very good at the moment, mate. I won't worry about it. It's not the Rashford of a few years ago. He's not the same player as he used to be a few years ago. Not sure what's happened to him. But to be honest, statistically wise, this is going to annoy people. Watch this. There's going to be someone that comments after this video on this exact thought. Brennan Johnson scores and assists more goals than Rashford does. Wait for it. You're now going to get someone in the comments going, oh, I can't believe he just said that. Oh, I can't believe it. And you're going to get an absolute Twitter warrior about that. I just don't think, Rashford isn't. Look, Rashford has his games here and there, but also doesn't work hard enough. And look, Porro gets forward. You're then going, well, hang on, Rashford's not tracking Porro. We're going to be overloading that side. And Diallo, I like Diallo. Diallo's also a right back. So, going to be a huge midfield battle. Ange has to win this for himself. I don't want to hear Ange out on Thursday night. I don't want to hear it as well. I don't want to hear it at all. But look, key battle. Key battle for me, I think it's quite obvious. Desi Udogie versus Diallo. I think if you're talking about the one big attacking threat that they have, it's Diallo. I think if you completely negate him, and look, I've seen Udogie absolutely take Garnacho completely out of this game. This exact fixture, I've seen him do it a few times now, actually. If you take Diallo out of the game, grand. Absolutely fantastic. Is Udogie back? It said it was a bit of tightness. He wanted to play on and he was brought off. So I'm going to assume that he's okay to play. If it's not, then Spence will play. I'm going to be guessing that Spence will play. We've not heard anything. We'll probably hear a little bit more tomorrow from Andrew about what's going on, but I'm just going on the face of things. If Udogie can play, I'm going with Udogie. If he can't, then yeah, give me Spence. And if he can't, yeah, I guess you'd have to say it'd be Archie Gray at left back and Alfie Dorrington at centre back. I think that's probably the next step. But I'm going to go on the face value that Destiny can play, and I think Destiny takes. I think Destiny and Diallo is a hell of a battle. I'm looking forward to that. I like my chances there because I really rate Destiny and Udogie. So look, looking at all of that, looking about everything about this game, my score prediction. Now, we have had quite a bit of success against Manchester United recently. Jed needs to start. No, I've got Jed at right back. Sorry, you must have missed it. I'll put my team back on. There you go. Spencer's at my right back. Archie can also play striker. Archie might need to play striker at some point. I think this one may go to penalties, Terry. All right, well, yeah, get your scoreline predictions in. For me, it's a difficult one. I think both teams are going to score. I think both teams are going to score a couple of times as well, actually. I think Man United are going to score 2. I'm going to go 3-2 Spurs. I'm going to go 3-2 Spurs. My goal scorers. I'm going to go Sonny. I'm going to go Madders. I'm going to go Kulu. I'm going for the triangle that's in and behind the striker. I'm going to go for those 3. I just think Kulu's trickery, I think in this game is going to be quite important at times. I think sometimes Kulu to slow the game down or to drag us upfield, I think will be quite important. I think with Maddison, again, Maddison trickiness, winning fouls here and there, just things that Maddison's been doing recently for us. Get him. I think what they're going to try and do is they're going to really go in and get Maddison in terms of Manchester United. They're going to hone in on him being a problem and they need to take him out of the game, which if he does, you push Sarr much further forward on the right and you let Maddison drop a little bit deeper and face up because that's what we had success against Rangers. God, I couldn't think for a second. Rangers, because as they were really trying to press Maddison and he is back to them, he was struggling. Once he dropped a bit deeper, faced them up, he was starting to pick passes. And I think that's what he's going to do here. Sonny, I just think under the lights, Thursday night, Heung-min Son, 8 o'clock. I think a penalty. Why do I think a penalty? I think Solanke's going to get a lump kicked out of him by someone at the back. I think old Sonny's going to score a penalty. James, how you been, my friend? 2-1. 2-0, Joshua reckons. 2-1 Van Gogh. Solanke and Bergvall, nice. I think if Solanke scores, we win. I like it. Well, let's hope Solanke scores in your eyes, my friend. 2-1 Spurs, Kulu and Solanke. I'm calling it here a mad hat-trick from Madders. Oh, I'd love it. I love it, and I think I deserve it. I want to see Bergvall score a screamer. Need another big game from Sarr. Yeah, agreed, Terry. Thoughts on Bergvall so far? Struggled at first at the start of the season. Whole new way of living, much different league, much different style of football. I think as he's settling, and I think he's still settling, he's settling, getting to grips with the league. I don't actually think the physicality, I thought physicality would be one thing that maybe he might struggle with at times because it's the Premier League and Premier League is a very physical league. Looks like sometimes he's the more physical player out there than some of the midfielders. So I think he's starting to settle, and I think we're starting to see the player that we all thought we were getting. Now, it's still early doors. Let's still give him time to breathe and develop. But I think I like what we see so far, Joshua. 3-1 Spurs in match. It's rate that. Doggy loves a goal. 4-3 Spurs. Hogan, what a game that's going to be. Horrific for my anxiety, but great to watch for a neutral. So, yeah, like I said, 3-2 Spurs is what I'm going to go for. I think it will go 1-0 Spurs, 1-0 to Man United, 2-1, 3-1 Spurs, 3-2 late on for Man United to make us all a bit more nervous towards the end of the game. But look, I think that's what I'm going to go for. I'd be interested to see if they play the 3 centre-backs, the fact they've got 3. Well, I mean, Masters obviously is maybe not exactly aerially the best, if you know what I mean. From a corner kick, you might find that I'm picking them up from the corner kick in that regard. But obviously, Maguire, good in the air. De Ligt, no slouch in the air. Obviously, you got Dragusin. Dragusin needs to go out there and annihilate that box. But Big Fraser has been a massive part as to why we look pretty solid from corners at the moment. He is bigger than everyone else. Simple as that. And when you're bigger than everyone else, everyone's sort of looking at you going, he's quite tall, isn't he? Jesus, have you seen the size of this one? And then you realise he's also wide like a house, and you go, all right, maybe I won't push this one. Where's Vicario? Get Vicario. I don't mind pushing him. I'm not pushing this one. This one might eat me. So, obviously that's been a massive part to the success we've had from defending corners. We weren't bad even before he came in, but we've actually gotten better. And that's with the fact that we've not got centre-halves playing. Well, sorry, we have one centre-half playing. Also, I think Solanke at the front post. I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, but Solanke at the front post. I watched him against Southampton. He won a lot of the front post headers to clear it out. Remind me of a bit of Harry Kane back in the day, where the ball would come in front post. That's me. I'm having that. And Harry was brilliant at that. We were so good at defending corners just because Harry Kane would just clear the front post header. I think Solanke, he might be taking that role now, and I think that's massive for us. And this is all we've only got one centre half playing, and we have improved. And shout out Nick Montgomery for that. I'm pretty sure he's still the guy that does the defending and attacking set pieces. Now, attacking set pieces, honestly, if we were a little bit better at those, just saying, the amount of chances we create from set pieces. Just hope we win. Oh, same Van Gogh, mate. Obviously, if you win, we're not going to look at the teams that are in the next round because if we get through, we'll have a look at them. But we're not doing it right a second. But if we get through, like I said, all bets are off. You're now in the semi-final of a cup competition. Anything can happen. All right, anything can happen. Has the Doggy scored this season? Do you know what? I don't think he has. Bergvall's previous man said it should take him 6 months to adjust to the Premier League since it has such a step up. What do you know? It's 6 months since July 1st. There you go. That means it's time to rock and roll, Bergvall. All right. Bergvall sub at massively, just be patient. Yeah, absolutely. We will win big or lose, but with honour. If Ange drops Bergvall and puts Basuma in start 11 on Thursday, I'll be fuming. When do semi-final start? Is it January or February? I think it's normally late January, maybe early Feb. Normally the final is the last weekend, the last Sunday of February, which when we won that competition all those years ago, it was the day before my birthday. So there you go. It was the 24th of February. There you go. So hopefully if we do go to the final, they don't ruin my bloody birthday. All right. They don't do it. Don't ruin my birthday. All right. I'm a nice guy. But look, if we just to go back to Adiz's point, yeah, I want Bergvall to play. I do want Bergvall to play. The cameo that he played against Southampton was fantastic. That's why I want Spence to play. You know, I think. Look, I really rate Pedro Porro. By the way, can I just say this now? I'm going to start this point off with the fact that I really rate Pedro Porro, and I think he's a really, really good right back. Sometimes you just need a couple of weeks off here and there, or you need a week off here and there. And unfortunately, neither of the fullbacks had that. And Destiny had no pre-season, which I don't think has helped. And I think as the season is going on, he is getting his fitness back and he's getting the legs back in him. And I think you are seeing recently Destiny play a little bit better. I think that's because he's starting to get back to himself. But I would not mind Pedro getting another game off this week or coming off the bench 30 minutes to go. Not a problem with that, you know, because 30 minutes as a professional footballer, you shouldn't be tired after 30 minutes, you know, as a professional footballer. But I think giving Pedro just another week to recover, man, you got Liverpool at the weekend. If Pedro's going into that game like I'm fresh, I have no issues with Pedro Porro coming back for Liverpool at the weekend. Because you're going to also need to be able to get on the ball against Liverpool. They're going to press you high. They're going to press you high. They're going to be absolutely at you all game. We're going to be the same as them. And Spurs-Liverpool games are always an absolute belter of a game to watch for the neutral. For us and for them, maybe it's not as nice. And corresponding fixture last season was obviously a very contentious decision in that game, which we won't talk about. But you know, having some players that are fit, raring to go for that game is going to be crucial. Now, obviously, I think they play tomorrow, Liverpool. I think they do. Obviously, that'll play a part. I don't know if they do. I don't know. I could be wrong. Bergvall needs another start. He's earned it. Where if we go through, we play at Wembley. I'm pretty sure you have two semi-finals first, mate. Man City script for this week. If we win Thursday, we'll be close to a full quad come the semis. Let's pray that Ange will show haters why he's the man. The tiring of our fullbacks have been a huge problem. Agreed. Is Destiny Udogie injured? Look, we're going to wait for Ange to come out tomorrow to talk about it. I'm just putting out the team what I think on paper. I've spelled Dragoshin wrong. I've just clocked I spelled Dragoshin wrong. No one told me that. Dragoshin is how I spelled it. No one told me. You're all awful to me. Let's put that back up there. Let me do us a favour. Apologies, Radu. No, I would say, yeah, on face of things, I'm just going to take on who I think is going to play. Look, if he's not fit and Pedro Porro has to play, then Pedro Porro has to play. You know what I mean? Spence should start on Sunday versus Liverpool ahead of Porro, in my opinion. Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, Porro's fit and healthy for Sunday. We're going to play him, aren't we? He might even come back in for this game. You know, Porro's been awful this season. I don't think awfuls, I think, are too strong a words. Let's give Spence a run of games about time. Yeah, but what I don't want to do, Van Gogh, is go, right now, because we're going to give him a run of games. Pedro, you're going to sit on the bench for 4 games in a row. We all complained there's no rotation. Then we move and change. We then don't give rotation. That's what I'm saying. If Pedro plays Sunday, then play Spence on the week. Now, if Spence can't play against Man United because he's not 100% fit, but you go, look, we're going to play Pedro because you're not 100% fit, then Spency boy might have to be going and be ready to play on Sunday, potentially, you know? But we'll see. Porro's better suited to the Liverpool game because of the pressing, as you mentioned, Andy. We've got an Ange outer. Oh, exotic. If Doggy starts playing Spence right back. Yeah, right back, yeah. Porro needs a rest, agreed. Size, strength, speed, direct play. Liverpool have no left back for Sunday, which is good. We need Porro down that side. Well, there you go. I look forward to doing my preview of Liverpool on Friday. because that should be an interesting one. I hope Andrew will use Spence more often. I think, look, if you can't see Spence played well against Southampton and feel like, yeah, I want to see if I can do it. Because, even if it's like, I want to see if you can do it against one of the bigger clubs now. Maybe it's a bit more of a difficult game. You also sit there and say, it was also Southampton away. It's not Southampton at home, No, mate, you can always rotate giving Udogie a rest, just keep Spence playing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can play Spence on both sides. I'm just saying, let's not run Spence into the ground. The brother needs a rest here and there as well, just as much as Porro or Destiny, really like the midfield of Bergvall, Sarr and Madders. It's so fluid. Yeah, I think they worked really well together. And look, Bergvall has no issues putting his foot into places. Pape, Pape's a bit of an idiot for Chelsea, but Pape doesn't mind that as well. Help. I actually think we're better with Maddison pressing further forwards and not having to worry about as much defensively because he's got two guys behind him that can do more defensive work. We're so much a better team. Like I've always said, there'll be games where Maddison and Kulu playing in the midfield makes sense, and there's games where this doesn't. This is definitely going to be one of those games that doesn't. All right. But I want Kulu starting. I want Kulu out on that right wing. Get me Kulu out on that right wing. Get me Madders back in that sort of 10 role. Get my chef hat on. Let me cook. Let Tom Brady and Gareth Bale cook. All right. It's a good combo, that. It's a good combo, that, by the way. Great combo. If you don't think it's a great combo, whoa. And doesn't trust Spence. Well, let's see. I beg you put Bergvall, Sarr and Madders in the midfield for most of the games. Off topic, do you think we could snatch Skriniar and Kolo Muani off PSG as they want them sold? No. They spent stupid money on Kolo Muani. We're not going to spend stupid money in January at all. And Skriniar, he's just not done very well. I really wanted Skriniar at first, but he's done nothing at PSG. So I'm all right. I'm all right on both. Turbo team, how can I help? Yeah, I need to play career mode again soon, don't I? And I haven't done that in a little while on the channel. We'll bring it back at some point. I've been doing loads of the second channel. So if you don't know, description down below, second channel, give it a follow. Posting every single day on there, 1 or 2 videos a day. Also, Discord down below. Join the Discord in the link. Join us. We always chat on there when I'm not live as well. Rec normally gives me a load of crap. He's got his rest, loss experiences. He wants something. No, what I'm saying, Van Gogh, is if we're playing 3 games a week, I'm not playing Spence 3 games a week. Happy to play him 1 or 2 games a week, but let him rest as well. Let's not run him into the ground for the sake of running him into the ground. Thoughts of Lebanese? Yeah, I'll have to do a video on Richarlison. I don't know how they're going to afford him. We'll have to do a video on it, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. Go and enjoy the rest of your evenings. Go and enjoy the rest of the mornings or afternoons, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow to speak a little bit more about Spurs. Take care, everyone. Peace.